Hello, friends, and welcome back to Stories About Entitled People. At first, I thought it would be a story about a truck stuck in a swamp and sunk up to the roof with a very angry man trapped inside. Silly me, justifying in a lost job. But before we begin, best way to support our channel is to leave comments, like, and subscribe with the turned-on bell so you don't miss the new video every single day. Here we go. Don't want to follow the rules of the long haul road? Sure, go right on through. For context, I, 27-year-old female, work for a small local security company. We mainly do oil, gas, and logging roads. I typically work pipeline security, but I'm between sites at the moment waiting for spring breakup, when the ground starts to thaw and heavy equipment and trucks can't operate because this is swampland. Before breakup, they've got a 24/7 log haul happening on one of the big logging roads in our area. Now, because of this, traffic going against the log trucks is being restricted by us. I sit down at the far end of the log road and control who can go through the wrong way. This is limited to 3 companies and their subcontractors because their sites are close to my end of the road and they don't interfere with log trucks. Any company that's in violation of this rule receives a $10,000 fine and their road use privileges are affected. In this case, they can still only travel one way on the road once breakup hits and the log haul has to stop until the logging company says otherwise. One company in particular has been one massive pain this whole time. Let's call them Stupid Incorporated for privacy reasons. Now, Stupid Incorporated's site sits about halfway down the log road. They have to go down to the far end of the road and drive the same direction as the log trucks. Well, they don't bother telling their subcontractors this, so all day, every day, I'm busy turning these guys away. One morning last week, this big pickup pulls up and I ask the usual of, "Where are you headed?" He gave me the kilometer number of where the site is. It's Stupid Incorporated. Only he gives me a different company name, a subcontractor. We call that one Jerk Company. I informed the guy that he couldn't go this way, and he lost it. Starts cursing and swearing, yelling about how it's complete bullcrap and I shouldn't be allowed to do this. He tells me he's gone this way down the road plenty of times when he's not working and it's never been an issue. The thing is that private users, so just regular people, are technically allowed. Legally speaking, we can't stop them as roads are public to a degree. There's a whole thing I'm not going to get into. Private users are allowed to use the road, though. We strongly caution against it. All right, then, I'm a private user and you can't stop me. You just told me you're here for work, but all right, if you say so, you've been warned, and he floors it on down the road. What followed was a 4-day manhunt. I immediately notified the road patrol supervisor as well as road patrol and my boss. I was asked questions for 4 days while they tried to identify this guy. Because he said he was going to work for Stupid Incorporated, they got hit with the fine. Of course, this didn't go over well with them either. Next thing I know, the site superintendent's asking me tons of questions about the guy. When I said he worked for Jerk Company, well, that didn't go over well. From my understanding, Jerk Company was at risk of losing the contract they had with Stupid Incorporated over this. Jerk Company then started digging around, and I heard they found out who it was, and the guy lost his job over it. The kicker? He wasn't even working for Stupid Incorporated that day. The superintendent told me they didn't have Jerk Company out working on anything. One of his employees had seen the truck I described way on the other side of Stupid Incorporated's site. He hadn't even stopped there. As far as anyone knows, he actually was there as a private user. And had he just said as much, none of this would have happened. Edit. All right, apparently I need to clear up a couple things. It's not like the guy said, "Yeah, I work for this company, but I'm off today." I get that a lot, actually, and never have an issue with it. The guy specifically told me he worked for Jerk Company and was working down at Kilometer X, which was the location for Stupid Incorporated. I asked him to confirm the company he was headed to work for, and he specifically named Stupid Incorporated. I told him that company and their subcontractors were not allowed to go that way, and he started yelling and swearing at me. During a sissy fit, he said he's been down that road several times when not working. I told him that private users, so individuals not there on behalf of a company, legally can't be stopped. It's a legal gray area. Yes, it's stupid, but private user equals not there representing a company equals can go. Employee/subcontractor equals there to do work on behalf of a company equals cannot go. After explaining this, he got all smug-looking and declared he was a private user. He thought he'd found a loophole. It wasn't like he said, well, I'm actually not here for work today, I just do work for this company. Instead, he was a straight-up a-hole about the entire situation and very clearly lied to my face about being a private user. Again, I don't know why he was truly there, I never found out. All I know is he lied to my face, gave me trouble, which is another finable offense actually, but that's a whole nother thing, and thought he'd found a loophole. The way the situation itself played out, I guarantee, based on the information given to me by him, that I was not confused on the matter. Also, when I say 4-day manhunt, what I mean is that it took 4 days for the various companies to figure out exactly who this guy was, as he didn't give me a name, and it's an incredibly common truck description. He didn't vanish into the woods, never to be seen again. Apologies for any confusion there. I was never hoping this guy would lose his job. Honestly, I wanted him to get chewed out as a nice bit of karma. This dude was nasty, very colorful language, and at 6:10 a.m. So I was not in the mood to get screamed at. I knew about the fine, which is why I said, "You've been warned," prior to him taking off. I knew that things were going to be ugly for him when the boss got their hands on him. I didn't hope or really expect he would lose his job. I can't deny that I do feel a tiny sliver of satisfaction because guys like this need to be taken down several pegs. But I do also feel bad that it cost him his job. I believe this would be a case of F around and find out. And I sincerely hope he's learned something from this and will be nicer to people just doing their jobs in the future. And our second story. I got my degree in technology 20 years ago. Around 10 years ago, I was working the closing shift at your friendly neighborhood pharmacy focused on making it personal when a familiar customer walks into the store. I give her my standard friendly greeting, and I can instantly tell she's frustrated. I need to print out pictures, and the machine at family-owned pharmacy down the street wouldn't read my files. Will this work on your machine? She extends a flash drive to me. I'm not sure, I respond honestly. Let me see what I can do. She uncaps the flash drive, important, and hands it over to me. As I'm plugging it into our machine, she explains, I saved all my photos as PDF files. I don't know why they won't open. My smile lessens. I know what I'm going to say next is not going to make her happy. If you saved all your photos as PDFs, then that's probably the reason why the photo machines won't open them, I explained as gently as I could. I could feel her annoyance reach a rolling boil beneath her skin. Our machine's probably only able to recognize actual photo files like JPEGs or PNGs. I continue explaining the technology thoroughly and simply, as I do to anyone over the age of 40. She interrupts me. I know what photo files are. I'm sorry, I'm just trying to explain that our machine is not compatible with the file extension your photos are saved as. I'm not going to argue with you. I got my degree in technology 20 years ago, and PDF files were developed as a universal file type for photos. Word documents, she smugly ticks off each file type on her fingers. By this time, my manager had joined us at the photo machine, trying to help diffuse the situation. I throw my hands in front of my shoulders in a calm down motion, taken aback that someone with a degree in technology had not continued her education in those 20 years. I'm sorry, I was only trying to explain the situation to you, I reply to her outburst, and I leave my manager to finish sorting out this woman. It's not 20 years ago anymore, lady, I mutter under my breath as I pretended to straighten the boxes of candy at the checkout. If your machine doesn't open PDF files, then it's a piece of crap, I heard the customer say to my manager. My manager pulls her flash drive out of the machine and hands it back to her with a half-hearted apology. We thought it was all over. Where's the cap to my flash drive? The customer snaps at us. Remember how I said this part was important? You took the cap off before you handed it to me, I replied. The woman sighs as she empties her pocket, searching for a tiny blue piece of plastic. It's not here. My manager and I began searching for the lost cap, asking if she maybe had put the cap in one of her backpack pockets or in a pocket she hadn't checked. Each suggestion was met with a vehement no. I crawled on the floor for a few moments while my manager reached under the monitors on the photo machines, both of us pretending that the other had not checked theirs seconds before. "I'm sorry, but it's not here," my manager apologizes to the woman again. "Of course. First you lose 3 of my prescriptions, and now you've stolen the cap to my flash drive," she complains as she gathers her belongings and finally leaves the store, continuing to mutter under her breath about how awful we are. "I hope she doesn't learn how to call in a complaint," my manager says as she turns around to return to the office. Degree in technology? The only technology degrees are usually associate's degrees, unless you were substituting technology for computer science or something. Therefore, even without it being 20 years ago, I wouldn't trust her knowledge too much. And our last story. Disband the HOA. First, this is not my story, but I read some on here and thought of one a coworker told me a few years ago. My coworker lived in a community with an HOA. He said he was receiving letters from the HOA pretty much on a weekly basis for things like his lawn wasn't maintained properly, he painted his mailbox the wrong color. The HOA decided to change the list of acceptable colors for garage doors, and he didn't repaint his quickly enough to make them happy. Oh, and my favorite, outdoor grilling/barbecuing during days and times not approved by the HOA. We worked driving trucks around natural gas wells in the Dallas-Fort Worth area of North Texas. We worked 4 12-hour days, had 2 days off, then started over. If the company became really busy, we would work 5 days with 1 day off. So as you can see, our days off changed every week. My coworker liked to grill on his days off when the weather allowed. The HOA said residents were only allowed to grill on Saturday and Sunday between the hours of 1 o'clock and 5 o'clock p.m. My coworker said he finally got tired of all these letters and took a day off from work so he could attend one of the monthly HOA meetings. He said he waited until the president of the HOA opened the floor for new business. When he got his chance to speak, he said, "I move we disband the HOA." My coworker said he heard several people second the motion. The president of the HOA was forced by procedure to put the motion up for a vote. My coworker said there were approximately 40 residents at the meeting, and the only people who did not vote for disbanding the HOA were the 5 members of the HOA committee who were in attendance. My coworker came to work the next day and told everyone about it. I'd never seen him that happy. Hey guys, thank you all for watching the video. I'll see you in the next one.